Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Vloggary, and before I dive into today's topic, I want to give you some quick update about what's been going on for the past 7 days because quite frankly it's been a while since the last vlog. And the first thing I want to say is, of course, I've been able to fix my sleep schedule, which is quite surprising because if you know me, that's like my biggest struggle, and yeah, I think I made it. Probably the best achievement of my life. I don't know how long I can keep it though. Actually, about this video, I recorded everything yesterday. I was going to edit tonight, but when I checked the video, I just looked really tired and worn out. And my mom actually commented on my last video. She told me that I look like I lack sleep, which is not something I want to create in my not the vibe I want to create in my videos, if that makes sense. So I thought I should just re-record everything tonight. And reflecting on that actually made me come to a realization. I'm just a born nocturnal. There's nothing I can do about it. I just work at night and I get really tired in the morning. Yeah, so that's that. I'm re-recording everything because I just feel more energized right now, and I don't know, I'm just so much more productive at night. The second thing is I recently installed window tints. Here are the footage. In case you don't know what they are, they're basically one-way mirror. So I would put them on my windows, just, like stickers, and people on the outside wouldn't be able to see me on the inside, but I could see them. So, but it only works during the day, so at night the effect is reversed. But it works because I have 3 big windows in front of me, and I'm on the first floor, which means that every time someone passed by, we would just have this really strange eye connection, which I feel very awkward, and having this filter makes me more comfortable opening the curtain and being able to open my curtains for the first time ever during daytime, actually. So yeah, that's the 2 things I want to say. Third thing is just a minor thing. I've recently fixed my hair tonight actually because I didn't do much to it, just the same thing, but I parted it a little bit more over here, so just part it a bit higher and then swoop. If you watch my third vloggary, it was about what it's like being an international student in the US. I'm not expert in this, just saying, but I'm, as an international student, think that I have some insight regarding the whole international student thing, and I would like to tell my stories, and hopefully some of you may find it helpful. So maybe you've decided that studying abroad is the move for you. How do you prepare for it? Here are my tips for how to prepare for it. The first one is doing some research. It's pretty straightforward. Once you're committed with studying abroad, you're gonna do some research on where you want to study, where you're gonna stay. I'm gonna focus more on the US for now because I have my experiences regarding the US studying abroad thing. US is a big country, and even if you're committed to studying in the US, you gotta know exactly where you want to stay. For example, for my personal anecdotes, my cousin studied here. We were not really close, my cousin and I, but my mom thought that it would be safe to have someone around in case I need anyone. So yeah, she thought that would be a good start for me in the US, and I don't think that's a bad move. I love San Francisco. So far it's like one of the best time of my life. High school has been amazing. I've made a lot of friends, I've learned a lot, and it's just all-around amazing experience for me. Okay, now you're done with location. Now you're gonna do research on stuff like transportation. Where are you gonna stay? Are you gonna stay in dorm at school, or you're gonna find a host family, or you have an apartment somewhere? Now accommodation is a big topic, and so I think you should discuss it with your parents thoroughly because it's a big topic. There's stuff you gotta figure out. If you want to stay with the dorm, go into the school websites. They'll have more information for that. If you're gonna stay with the host family, you gotta do some research online. Your parents will probably know some people. If they do know some people, then you can stay with them, ask them if they can help out. Or if you just want to stay with strangers, then yeah, just go online, find someone who's willing to do that, and how much you're gonna charge, and stuff you should probably do with your parents, because it's a big thing, and I don't think any one of us is, unless you're really capable. But personally, I don't think I can do that alone. So for that big of a topic, I would probably discuss with my mom. Also, there are a lot of things beyond those things that you can do research on before you study abroad, like just general stuff about the culture. You know, the culture, man. Where are you gonna eat when you're studying? Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna visit? Like movies, cinemas, theaters, shopping. I don't know. There are a lot of things you can dig a bit more into, and I'm sure you'll find something useful. Okay, so once you're done with the research, let's move on to the next part. Be aware of the deadlines. And I mean this especially for incoming college freshmen, much more than incoming high schoolers. As incoming college freshmen, you have a lot of deadlines waiting for you. You have the testing deadlines, application deadlines. It varies between schools and is something you gotta keep an eye on. It's really easy to get lost in all the dates and due dates, and it can get confusing real quickly. That's the best way I can put it. And so it's really important for you to remember the due dates. The way I do it is, how did I do it? Oh god, I think I just put it in my head. I didn't write it down. That's not the move. You should write it down. I recommend writing it down. Actually, you know what? You don't have to write it down. Just remember. Just don't forget it, you know? Because most of the college applications is within a college application system, which I'll explain later. So they kind of reminds you when the due dates are, but try to keep an eye on them and do not miss the due dates. Submit your applications at least a few weeks or a week or so before the due date, so you have more time for, you know, just for security. Number 3. Take the test and submit them. Okay, testing is something I really hate. I don't like testing at all. I may do well on tests, I may not do well on tests, but I don't like them because they're annoying and they're stressful. If you're incoming high schoolers, all you have to worry about is the TOEFL test or the IELTS test. Now, there are two general types of TOEFL tests that most schools would accept. They are TOEFL IBT and PBT. They're short for internet-based tests or paper-based tests, and basically they just test your English proficiency. If you're an incoming college freshman, then besides the TOEFL test, you would have to also take the SAT test. Now, unlike the TOEFL test, which is a lot easier in my opinion, because it only tests your adequacy in English, SAT also tests your critical thinking and your math skills using English, and so it's much more intricate compared to TOEFL IBT or PBT or TOEFL Junior. The similar between the two is, of course, they both use English, and there's no pass or fail grade. There are, however, different milestones, unspoken milestones, that would be used by many colleges to, you know, just call them adequate. For the TOEFL IBT, 80 or above would land you a good spot. If you have 100 or better, then you're set for most of colleges in the US. For the SAT, I think most people would consider above 1300 to be a good score, and above 1400 or above 1500 would be a good range, like really excellent range. Okay, now that's the test taking portion. Now it's the submission portion. For the TOEFL IBT, once you're done with the test and once you receive the score, you have exactly 2 years for submission. After 2 years, your score will be invalid. They're basically expire in a way, so you would have to retake them again. So I would say that take TOEFL a few times just to get a feel of it, take some prep courses. And when you do, for your final score, it should be within 2 years from the day you're gonna submit them. For the SAT test, you would send them directly to institution that you're going to or you're applying to. Usually you would just go onto College Board, log in, and just mess around with it. Find where you can send your score, find the send button, or I know send to colleges. I don't remember exactly, but there are videos on that, and I'm sure you can find some helpful information online. Now, as international student, I think most of the time you would have to submit your TOEFL IBT score to all of the institution you're going to. There's no other way around it. But for the SAT score, you gotta check with the school you're applying to, because some school will not require you to send scores to the college before you admit it. You can choose to send them once you're admitted to that school and you want to go to that school, so you can save some money on that. And I think that's for the testing part and submission part. Alright, let's move on to the more tedious part of this talk, and it is paperwork. The tip I have for you guys to prepare for your trip abroad is to take care of the necessary paperwork. It can be quite tedious, especially for incoming freshmen of college. For high schoolers, what you need to do is you need to fill out the applications, for enrollment. Most of the time your parents would take care of this, so I'm not too worried about it. You need to take the TOEFL test. You don't need the SAT test, that's for college. You need your I-20 form, and I think you get it once you're admitted to the school, and they'll send out a form and you're gonna fill it. Basically, I-20 is the certificate of eligibility for non-immigrant student, and you need I-20 for your studying in the US. All F or M student, like F1 visa student, would need to get I-20, and it would be valid for 1 year. After a year, you have to renew it and keep renewing it until you're done with your school. If you decide to go on to college or higher education, you would transfer that I-20 form to the next institution by contacting the new institution so that they can start the transferring process. It's quite complicated. I don't like paperwork. I hate paperwork stuff, but it's something you gotta deal with eventually. Okay, now let's move on to college. The procedure is pretty much the same, applications, I-20, the TOEFL, but there's something to take note on. Many colleges will share a same application system like the Common App or UC App or Coalition apps, and basically you're gonna fill in your basic information that will be used for different colleges, so you don't have to repeat them every single time you start a new application for a different school. Some colleges will have additional questions and you just have to answer them. There's no need to retype the whole basic stuff like your address or your name or stuff like that, so you're gonna save some time using the same system applications. Most school would use Common Apps or Coalition apps. I did not use Coalition apps because my school recommended using Common App, and they told us not to use the Coalition apps, just to make stuff easier. The UC app is used for the University of California system, and basically the 9 campuses of the UC system would use the same applications. So yeah, one application for 9 schools. Pretty simple, much like Common Apps. Okay, now let's move on to financial aid and scholarship. I feel like most of the time financial aid would be given out to students. Depends on the circumstance, economic circumstance. The question usually would be integrated within the application itself, asking whether you're gonna file for financial aid. As for scholarship, it's more accessible for students from all backgrounds. As international student, you might have heard of the word FAFSA. It's basically federal funds that help students pay for their college's expenses. We cannot file for FAFSA because we're not US citizens, so that's out of the picture. There is, however, CSS profile. It's part of College Board, and you may want to check that out. I'm not sure how easy it is to get money from the CSS, but it's never hurt to try. Also, there's the merit-based scholarship, and you don't actually have to do anything. Yay. It's basically a part of your application. By submitting your applications, you're automatically considered for merit-based scholarship, and it can ranges from very little to very much. Yeah, and that's where I got all of my scholarship, non from CSS profiles. So I would say merit-based scholarship is something you should look out for more than other means. The next thing you can do to prepare is to check your email frequently, ideally every single day, because most of the time there will be stuff sending out to you through your emails, and it's like the main way of communications. It's that connection between you and your school you're hoping to go to. For high school there are less stuff, but there is still some information you might want to check out. Chances are your parents will be involved in this because you're still a minor, and they'll help you through everything. But for college freshmen, incoming college freshmen, you gotta be a bit more independent, and there will be stuff sending out to you. Like currently, it's on June 17th, and I already filled out my VSTAR, is virtual STAR, is a application for Purdue University. Pretty much just introduction and all, and connecting with my college advisor, whom I will be talking this Friday to discuss my courses and just adding my courses for the fall. So it's really early, but you gotta look out for stuff like that. And also for colleges, there will be a lot of activities going on, and if you're interested in groups or organization, then there are deadlines you have to pay attention to. So yeah, just pay close attention to your email, check your email, set up your college email, because they'll have that. I already have my college email. So yeah, it can be quite stressful because I connected to some of my future Purdue Boilermakers on Instagram, and many of them have already finished a lot of stuff and kind of stressed me out a little bit. So yeah, just check your email and make sure you're up to date with all the works. Okay, the next tip I have is do not wait till the last minute. I'm probably not the best person to give this advice, considering that I tend to procrastinate like many teenagers do. I remember last year with my college applications, I waited kind of last minute for a lot of stuff. So my point is, you want to give yourself some time to look over your application, some times to revise and check if things are okay for submission, and having more time is always better. So yeah, don't wait till the last minute, always do it early. And the last advice I can have for you that you can possibly do to prepare for your trip abroad is expect the unexpected. You may be stressing out right now, and it's totally normal. And you know what? Let it happen. Most of the time you learn things from things that you do not expect. So you'll make memories. You'll encounter stuff. Maybe they're bad, maybe they're good, but they'll help you define who you are and shape the person you'll be. So just embrace the future. It can be scary, into the unknown, but life is unexpected, and that's what makes it amazing. I think that's it for this video. I think I covered everything I want to say. As always, if you made it till the end of the video, I just want to say thank you. It means a lot to me, and hopefully you learned something along the way or something new. That's all I have to say for this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.